Let's get you more on this countdown to the Oscars. We want to bring in our Fort Myers film expert, Eric Raddatz, who is not only the presentation editor for Florida Weekly, but also
an actual filmmaker.
Yeah.
He's also the founder of the Fort Myers International Film Festival. Eric, great to see you.
Great to be here, Greg and Jen. It's so exciting. The Oscars, right? Ah!
My thoughts exactly.
Huge
At least that was the coffee.
Any big surprises this year?
Well, I mean, overall, there was most of the favorites. There weren't a lot of surprises. Bradley Cooper, obviously not making Best Director for A Star Is Born. Star Is Born was supposed to be one that would be getting more of the favorites. It came right down to that the bigger films, Roma and The Favorite, turned out being the 10 Oscar nominations. And so that was pretty interesting. I mentioned that there was no female filmmakers in the directing category, which was, they were kind of shut out. I know a couple of for me that were a surprise. I thought I would see a little bit more from the director, Barry Jenkins, at Bills We Could Talk. He wasn't a director. I was glad to see a couple of my favorites, RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg documentary, one that actually played at the Fort Myers Film Festival prior to its actual theatrical debut. So it debuted this year in May. We played at the Fort Myers Film Festival in March of this year, and that's kind of fun as a film festival to say we've played films before they actually made it to the bigger screen, and also we had the good enough taste to pick ones that were picked for Oscars.
That's incredible, absolutely.
You know? That is good taste.
Going back to Bradley Cooper, isn't it, I mean, it is somewhat odd, isn't it, to be named Best Picture or up for Best Picture and not have the director included, and there's two this year? Yeah,
that is supposed to be, but you see through time, and at 91st year, we've seen a lot of different patterns, and there's nothing to get too excited too much about. I know if you're waking up and you're Bradley Cooper, how much do you really care that you didn't get the nomination for, with all the accolades that A Star Is Born has already received and will continue to receive through time. And you know, Oscars, you think about the category, and everything's kind of subjective, but it really has a history of elevating an appreciation of the art of film. We all have our movie favorites, right?
Sure.
So whether or not they were nominated today or not, we still have our favorites. But for a lot of us, we're still kind of a little behind the curve, especially here, you know, in Florida, Fort Myers. I think sometimes we are now like more aware of a lot of these films that we're not going to check out. And screening is so much different. It used to just go straight from big screen to DVD, and now we have so many different platforms. Netflix is one with Roma. It's the first time Netflix film has been nominated, so that was kind of interesting because a lot of people watch Netflix. It's very well, everyone's always couching and watching Netflix on weekends. But they never had a picture of theirs ever actually make it to become Oscar nominated. So that's interesting. And then people will be looking for these films, like where can I watch A Star Is Born, for example? Because now we're like, oh, this is a good film. Roma, what's that about? You know. And I think it's really exciting if you love film and you love the art of film. The Oscars always brings that conversation starter and conversation viewing. So it's always fun and exciting.
Cool. Because once upon a time, it was like a film that skipped the theater. Or a theatrical release was considered a dud, like a straight-to-video film. Now you're getting straight to Netflix, straight to streaming, straight to whatever. But they're still just as good as any big-budget box office attraction that's out there.
Yeah, that's the trend. We're seeing a lot of people now saying we have our own films. We're starting our own streaming services. So Netflix has lost some films, but the fact that we could stream Roma and before now it was actually nominated is kind of interesting.
It is.
A lot of are going, yeah. So, but we'll be watching people pick up a lot of these films. And
what about the Oscars with? Well, it looks like there's no host.
Hostless for the first time, yeah.
Yeah, has it happened before though?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
has it? I don't really know.
I don't know either.
It's a host list with the most list, I suppose. You know, either way, it's going to be happening, and you know, it's kind of like the government shutdown too. So I mean, things still are happening.
It's going to go on.
It's still going to have the Oscars, and you know, the whole controversy with Kevin Hart is very interesting. Yeah. And obviously, we still wait to see that. I think at the last minute they're going to come up with a host. I'll host it.
Why not?
How much does it pay?
I do it for free.
I would.
You do it for free?
I would do it for free.
Maybe you should let them know.
And then because I know they would never invite me back. So what have I got to lose?
Or maybe you'd be the best host ever, Greg.
And they still wouldn't invite me
back. No,
back.
they might. You got to check 15 years of your tweets, though.
You know, I have
Greg Parker, Billy Crystal. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Bring back Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
You're very funny.
Well, thank you. Funny looking.
Well, I didn't say that. Did I say that? You're handsome. Was I supposed to?
Oh,
you're handsome, Greg. So I don't know if they'll have a host or not, but we know that the awards will go on as they always have.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Raddatz with us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate this.
Eric, we got to have you back.
I'll be here anytime, Greg. Thanks, Jen.
All right, and
especially with compliments like
you
that.
can catch the Oscars on Sunday on ABC 7. It's going to be 2 weeks from now, and of course, we're going to have much more on the Oscars coming up. Sunday, February 24th is a big night.